Hello, this is Jones10395 with another airsoft video for you today. This will be how to make your airsoft suppressor. This will be a tutorial for your integral suppressor look. So this is what it will look like on your gun when you're done. So if you didn't know what suppressor or integral suppressor was, that's a very good example. It will work on most, if not all, airsoft guns with a free float rail system installed, because this slides on top of the barrel underneath the rail system. So what you will need for this is something to measure with. I have a square right there. Good tool to always have is a hammer. That'll come in handy later. A couple sharp tools. I got a razor blade, my knife, and a hacksaw, which is just a really fine tooth blade. So if you have a fine tooth saw anywhere, then that'll work. This is 1.5" PVC, inch internal diameter PVC, 1/2 inch PVC, and this is inch external diameter PVC. This is a weird piece. I actually got it from an old Christmas decoration that obviously we don't use anymore because it's cut up now. But you can just replace this with a couple layers of tape if you can't find a piece like this, which I don't know if you can. So, and then you'll also need your foam, which you can use pool noodle or foam for like projects you would get at like Home Depot or Lowe's. So, and you'll need electrical tape. That's a kind of a must-have for this project. So the first thing we're going to do is start cutting up the foam for the suppressor itself, like what's going to be absorbing all the sound and doing most of the work. So here we go. Before we get started on cutting this up, I also want to say one more thing. You're actually going to have a pool noodle or something that will grip your barrel, your external barrel, tightly, because this is what will be holding onto the barrel. So you will need this, and you will also need this, unless you just want to use a pool noodle for everything. It'll be inside, so you won't be able to see it. But I'm going to start cutting this up. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I'm going to use a pool noodle for this. I'm not going to use this foam from Home Depot. So we'll go with pool noodle foam, and what I'm going to do is cut baffles into it. But first what I need to do is trim it down so it will be able to slide in here. So got a bit of work cut out for me, so here we go. So I have cut the pool noodle down to fit inside of this, just showing you that it fits. So you gotta cut it down like that. Just shaved it off. Didn't take that long at all, just took probably 2 minutes. Make sure you don't cut into this, so you kind of cut at an angle. Make sure you cut straight down, so you get an even cut on both sides, and so that you don't cut into it and end up accidentally kind of making it not as strong. So what we're going to do now is cut baffles into this. So I'm going to use my little razor blade for this, my X-Acto knife. It's a little bit more precise than this knife over here. Baffles are kind of just like separators. It's kind of hard to explain without showing you. So I'm just going to start cutting right now. I'll probably cut around 4 into this, but I'll show you what I mean. And you just want to go under halfway around this, just under, probably 1/3 of the way around the entire cylinder of foam or pool noodle. That would have been the easier way to go. So this is what I mean by cutting a baffle. I know it's not exactly a baffle. I know that. And you want to keep that kind of separator in the middle of these two. I'll show you once I'm done cutting this. This is just going to allow the air to expand more, because there is air, unused air coming out after the BB exits the barrel. So this is gonna kind of act to absorb that. It's gonna make more surface area. So you want to cut this all the way down, just like that. Just keep repeating. I'll show you what I mean. So this is what I mean by baffles. See, you're kind of just staggered. So you want to keep this kind of what I'm going to call a rib in here, right here, this part, so it keeps it all together and you don't have these randomly floating around in your suppressor shell and maybe one goes sideways and then your BB doesn't exit the barrel and you have to take it apart. You don't need to glue this in there. Friction will hold it in there, and the barrel won't be touching this, so this won't have any way to kind of slide around at all. So you're going to set this aside for now. The next part will be cutting pieces that will hold your barrel. So this will be the piece that contacts your barrel and holds it snug and keeps the suppressor on there nice and neat. So what you're going to do, once again, is shave the sides down, and that'll be it. No baffles. After you finish cutting these, which will hold your barrel, you're going to want to first of all make sure they fit nice and snug. Don't cut them too cut too much foam away so they kind of slide too easily in the barrel. You want to make sure they kind of have a nice tight fit, and just to make sure they don't move anywhere when you're taking it off and putting it on, you're going to want to put glue on these and then slide them down the barrel where you want them to stay, or down the suppressor where you want them to be holding onto your barrel. Make sure you don't set the one down here too far out so it doesn't even touch your barrel. So you probably want to make these, since mine is a long barreled rifle, and I'm going to keep these around 10 inches apart so it gets a nice solid grasp and everything. So I'm going to do that, put glue on this, slide it down the barrel, and I'll show you what I have. Okay, so I got the first one done. I've got glue in between this piece of foam and the wall. Please excuse the dog. And what was I saying? I lost my train of thought here. But that'll hold it. You want to let it dry for a day, just so it has a nice snug, tight fit in there. The second one will be the hardest. I'm gonna try to get it to stay right here inside the barrel. The hard part will be sliding it down and making sure the glue stays on there so the glue sets where this stops and doesn't like kind of scratch off down here. So I'm gonna really lace this in glue and then shove it down there with a wooden dowel and right here, and let that dry, and then we'll get to the actual suppressing material up here. Alright, I'm gonna try to get this on camera. See, I've got the glue on there. Any glue you want. What I'm using is this DAP instant grab adhesive glue, which is good for this but not really for anything else. So I'm gonna make sure I try to not get all the glue to come off right here. This is where the BB will be exiting the barrel to. This is the end of the suppressor, not the front. So I'm gonna push that down. Let's say a little bit more. And then just kind of hope that the glue keeps it in place. So it's right down there if you can see. Some of the glue did come off, but I do have kind of a lot of glue on there, so it should dry and keep itself on there. So next part. Remember that baffle we cut earlier, or this is what will actually be suppressing everything. I'm just gonna slide this down the barrel. We just slide down the I don't know, I'm gonna call it the barrel hug or whatever we just put down there. So this is the back, and then this is the top, or the front rather. So we're gonna put the suppressing baffle foam duo down there. Okay, just a little bit of kind of shimmying it in off camera. Leave about 1 inch of space there, and now we're gonna top it off with our end cap. So we'll start on assembling that. So this end cap is where all these smaller pieces of PVC will come in handy. So this is your 1/2 inch PVC here, inch internal diameter PVC, inch external diameter PVC. And then your electrical tape, obviously. I'm just going to get some of these burrs off here. So what you're going to do first is, this will be the smallest part of the suppressor. If you can see, that's obviously not what it's going to look like, but this will be the hole out the end of the suppressor right here. If you want to go smaller, you can, but I think this is good enough. That's what I like to use. So you're going to fit this 1/2 inch PVC inside of this inch external diameter PVC. A a little bit of glue wouldn't hurt here too, even though it is a tight fit. Glue will definitely help. Alright, after you do that, you're going to want to do the same to this. PVC cement inside this, PVC cement on the outside of this, and slide it over. It'll fuse all this stuff together as one, and then we'll start using the electrical tape. So I'll do that and get back to you. Alright, after you've done that, this is the first cut we're going to make with the hacksaw. We're going to cut it right here. Don't cut the inch PVC. Cut the green piece, or in this case, on my suppressor, it's a green piece. It may not be green on yours, probably be white or gray. But you're gonna cut this. Don't really need to wait that long for the glue to dry. It's a really fast process how this PVC cement works. So I'm just gonna cut. All right, just cut this off. Got a lot of burrs to cut off too, so I'm gonna do that. This will be your obviously the end cap. I said we're working on this now. This will be the part that's actually going to be touching the insides of the suppressor. So it'll be touching the foam. You want to make sure you cut all these burrs off as much as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect, because it is on the inside. But you also want to make sure there's no burrs so they don't kind of shoot out while you're shooting. Well, because I just really don't like it when that happens. You can use a sandpaper on this, which is what I'm going to do here. Just get the big burrs off with the razor blade here. So it's like that. So after we do that, we are going to put some tape on here and jam it in the barrel or the end of the suppressor with a hammer, and then we're going to cut everything off, including the suppressor, to make it a nice smooth one unison cut. So that's what we'll be doing now. I'm going to be layering tape onto this to make sure it fits in here snugly, very snugly. So I'll do the tape right now, and then I'll show you all the hammering in of the end. Alrighty, have the tape on. If you can see, I'll let it hang over the edge a little bit. This is the edge that will be going inside of the suppressor shell. I did that so it's kind of a smooth process, and not no tape will get smashed off and you have to cut off excess tape, which you will a little bit in the end, but this reduces that. So it's kind of rounded and kind of just squeaks by without the PVC knowing, so it doesn't really cut it off. So make sure you kind of round off the edge with the tape, and then we will hammer it in now. Alright, so we have the end cap placed in there. Now we're just going to start hitting it in. Make sure you don't go too far in so that you smash all of the foam down, and then you don't have a nice hole for the BB to escape. So, and obviously watch your hands too. Go in a circular motion like you see me doing right now. And if it makes it any easier, you could put a piece of wood on top of this, which it does definitely make it easier. But I didn't think about that, so I guess I'm gonna have to finish it off like this. Another good idea is just put that on the ground and hit it like this. And periodically check it. Make sure you're not going too far. Alright, I drew a line where I will start hitting the foam, so I know when to stop hitting this. Which is coming up. I've got about 1/8 of an inch to go. Now 1/16. Going in slowly. That's good because you want it to have a really nice tight grip. Alright, I'm there right now. So I have it measured off, and I have marked it with a piece of tape. So I'm just going to follow the edge of the tape all the way around, and it will be a straight cut in the end. So let me move you guys over here so I can fit my saw in here. I'm going to cut it backwards like this, just because it kind of feels a little bit more comfortable for me, because this is like a really tough cut with all these layers of PVC and tape you're going to cut through. Alright, so got it off. It's not really that long to do it, but it's really tough because of all those layers of stuff you're cutting through. Pretty much cutting through straight PVC, so you just have to get all the burrs out first, all the loose ones anyways, and then cut out the ones that are staying, make sure it's a really nice cut, because this is what's going to be exposed for everyone to see. So if you can see right there, still a little bit of chunks in it. And then you can take off that, at least if you did my idea, and use the tape to mark your line instead of drawing or writing or whatever. Take that off. And then just finish off getting all these burrs. Alright, so here's the suppressor after you're done making it and everything and painting it. Right next to my M16 with the free float rail system. Another place your electrical tape may come in handy, if I didn't already say this, would be right here. If you can tell, that's electrical tape and not, sorry about that, and not spray paint. But you're going to want to paint like the length of the suppressor that will be exposed, and that won't be under the rail system, so you can see that's exactly what I did. And here's the foam and everything after it's dried. The glue in there, you can still see straight through. And the only thing you need to use to install this or put it on your gun is simply take off your orange cap, or unless it fits over it, and then you simply slide it on. And that electrical tape makes it grip the insides of the rail system, so it's really nice and tight. And the foam grips the barrel itself without scratching the paint off. So when you want to remove this, you can do so, and you don't have to paint the outer barrel. So that's how you make your integral suppressor, quotes, because it's not really integrally suppressed, but that's how you make it for a free float rail system on your I don't know, whatever gun you have that has a free float rail system. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see how to make one of these for a sniper rifle, you can do so by clicking the link right there. If not, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.